The racing action at Montgomery Motorspeedway started off with a bang with the modified mini race. Off the start, it was David Davis in the lead with Rusty Alverson running in second. Rusty Alverson and David Davis would battle out for continuous laps until Rusty Alverson was finally able to make the pass for the lead. After that, there was no stopping Rusty Alverson as he would go on to take the checkered flag, with David Davis finishing in second and Steve Looney finishing in third. After that was over, it was time for the street stock race. Off the start, Dwayne Westenberg had the lead with Charles Davis running in second. Then we had a three-car battle for third between Brian Hutchinson, David Wood, and Josh Wilson. Meanwhile, back up front, Charles Davis was gaining ground on Dwayne Westenberg for the lead. But then David Wood was able to make the pass on Brian Hutchinson for the third place spot. Brian would continue to lose spots as he battled Josh Wilson for the fourth place spot. Josh Wilson would eventually get the spot. Meanwhile, back up front, Charles Davis was continuing to work on Dwayne Westenberg. Then at one point, they came up on the slow car of Davey Lynn, and they were able to avoid it, and that was definitely good because it could have ended up disastrous. Then we had the next caution come out when the 88 of Bubba Nesbitt ended up spinning out in turn number 1. We went back green flag racing with Dwayne Westenberg back out front, Charles Davis second, and David Wood third. It turned into a three-car battle for the lead between Westenberg, Davis, and Wood. Then on the last few laps, Charles Davis dived underneath Dwayne Westenberg, and he was able to make the pass for the lead. Dwayne Westenberg tried to hold on, but eventually Charles Davis would get the lead, and Dwayne Westenberg wasn't going to give it up without a fight. But at the end of the day, it would not be enough, as Charles Davis would come off turn number 4 to take the checkered flag in the street stock race, with Dwayne Westenberg second and David Wood finishing in third. After that, it was time for the big race, the Modifieds of Mayhem. Off the start, Jeff Letson had the lead with Donald Crocker in the number 5 running in second. Then it wouldn't be too long before we had the first caution of the day. The restart proved to be the wildest part of the race. Watch right here, Jim Wall makes contact with Donald Crocker, and that causes chaos. Taking a look on the instant replay, you can see right here, Jim Wall makes a slight bit of contact with Donald Crocker, and around he goes. That ended the night for Jim Wall, but not for any others. Now watch the onboard camera. This is what Donald Crocker saw. A wild ride for Donald Crocker. Billy Melvin was involved as well, but both Donald Crocker and Billy Melvin were able to get their cars repaired, and they were back in the race. On the restart, Jeff Letson was in firm control of the lead. Meanwhile, Donald Crocker was moving his way through the field as he passed Gary Sanford Jr. in the 18 for the second place spot. Then a little while later, Billy Melvin would go to the inside of Gary Sanford Jr. and take the third place spot away. Then we had the next caution come out when the number 17 of Keith Joyner ended up spinning out. We went back green flag racing with Jeff Letson, Donald Crocker, and Billy Melvin in the top 3. Then we had another caution come out when the number 9 had a problem. On the restart, Billy Melvin was able to take the lead away from Jeff Letson in the 131, with Donald Crocker running in third, and that proved to be all that she rode as Billy Melvin took home the checkered with Jeff Letson second and Donald Crocker third. Then it was time for the last race of the night, the late model sportsman race sponsored by Interstate Batteries. Off the start, Brad Edwards and Roger Roos led off the field. Then Brad Edwards would bring out the first caution when flames shot out from underneath his car. He was sent to the pits, they checked it out, everything was A-OK, and his spot was allowed back. When we went back green flag racing, Brad Edwards had the lead once again, with Roger Roos and Justin Kane battling for the second place spot. Roger Roos would fall back a little bit, and Justin Kane would hold on to the second place spot. As time went on, Brad Edwards still had firm control of the lead, but then he got loose, and that opened up the opportunity for Justin Kane to take the lead, and Roger Roos would work his way past Brad Edwards as well for the second place spot. As Justin Kane led for a couple of laps, something went wrong on his car, and that allowed Roger Roos to take the lead, and he would bring his teammate of Dave Mader along with him to take the second place spot away from the number 7 of Justin Kane. Justin Kane would continue on for a few more laps, but then something went wrong on his car and his day was done. As they continued on racing, Perry Bettino found himself battling Brad Edwards for the third place spot. Eventually, Brad got loose again, and that allowed Perry Bettino to take the third place spot. But at the end of the day, it would be Roger Roos taking home the checkered flag, with his teammate Dave Mader finishing second and Perry Bettino third, ending off an incredible action-packed night at Montgomery Motor Speedway.